Hello, you just copied reading one of my favorite graphic novels, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. And here, I have the movie Sin City and 300. What do these all have in common, besides disappointing sequels, of course? What they have in common is that all of these are based off a graphic novel written by Frank Miller, one of the greatest comic book writers of all time. So with that, it's Frank Miller time!
He's not like everybody else, he thinks. And that's why his stuff is different.
He writes to satisfy himself. I don't think he cares if anyone ever buys any of his books, reads one line, as long as he writes and goes, that's it, this is what I want to see.
I think Frank will end up being regarded as one of the revolutionary creators of the field.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Frank Miller for a little bit. He's built a reputation throughout the years for his use on his anti-hero heroes, like Batman and Daredevil, and his work, his writing, and his drawing have actually inspired filmmakers to make either animated films or to inspire them in actual live-action movies. Some of them are directly inspired to look exactly like the comics, like Sin City and 300, which I'm going to review today. But some other things that he inspired were Christopher Nolan took a lot of inspiration for The Dark Knight Rises from Dark Knight Returns. Christopher Nolan used again for Batman Begins, the origin story. He took a lot of inspiration from Batman Year One, also written by Frank Miller. The great TV show Daredevil, if you wonder how he got his looks for that, the black suit and the origin story for that show, the dark and grittiness for that, the inspiration for that show was taken from a Frank Miller comic called Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, in which he also had a black costume, just like the show Daredevil. And the movie that's coming out next year, Batman vs. Superman, will you look at that? Batman looks exactly like the Batman from Batman Returns. Also, he's an older Batman, just like in Batman Returns. And he's also fighting Superman, just like in Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Also, apparently there's going to be a lot of imagery. Look at this shot that's taken directly from the comic and used for the new movie. It was used perfectly in the trailer. But yeah, Frank Miller, he's one of the best writers of comics of all time. He has almost impacted DC more than Stan Lee has impacted Marvel. But he just doesn't write Daredevil and Batman books. He writes all type of graphic novels, such as 300 and Sin City, which are both independent comics that don't take anything from Marvel or DC Comics. So with that, I'm going to dive into a double review of 300 and Sin City. So let's start the review off with 300. Also, while I'm doing this, let's keep a counter for all the times I say badass. From Zack Snyder, who directed badass movies like Man of Steel, Watchmen, and the anticipated badass Batman vs. Superman movie, it's Zack Snyder, who returns to bring 300, also based off a graphic novel, which he apparently likes to do. Gerald Butler stars as Leonidas, the king of the Spartans. So this movie is based off Frank Miller's work, which is kind of loosely based off the actual event. But yeah, part of this movie is actual Spartan lore, Spartan talk, Spartan battle formations, and also because it's Zack Snyder and he likes to do whatever the hell he wants, there's also some other mythical stuff as well. But this movie is not trying to be a historical piece of art. It's there to be a badass, heart-pumping, yelly, screamy ass, stab in the heart, blah 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 movie. This movie uses almost no actual sets. It's almost all blue or green screens right behind the actors, who of course have actual armor, swords, stuff like that, but all scenery is all green screen. Not because they're cheap or trying to make a movie like Avatar or anything, but they're just trying to make something that has a distinctive look. Kind of like a comic book, but also just a totally out there kind of flick. And although I'm not a fan of a lot of green screen or CGI, it works with this movie because that's what they were going for. They weren't just trying to be lazy to just CGI everything like Peter Jackson or James Cameron. They were just trying to make a distinctive looking film with the Spartans to make him more badass. Yeah, some Persians show up. Leonidas is like, men, my gym buddies, let's go out there and kick some ass. Yeah, throughout this movie, there's some of the best badass action you will ever see, partially accomplished through stunt choreography or the green screen to give it a unique look and feel, or just because of Spartans just kicking ass, led by Leonidas, who's one of the most badass kings of all time. Just listen to him.
This is madness! Madness. This is Sparta!
Let's play that again.
This is Sparta!
Badass moments, badass action, and badass lines that are so chill, you're just like, oh, let's go, like this one.
Ready your breakfast and eat hearty. For tonight, we dine in hell!
So is it the highest piece of art? Is it an art house flick? An Oscar winner? No, definitely not. But it's a movie for, at least my personal philosophy, every guy should see at least once. Because if you're gonna go to a movie just to turn off your brain and just enjoy the badass action, it might as well be this movie, not some dumbass movie like Transformers or something. Because although it's not the smartest of movies, they did put a lot of work into this movie to give it its cool look and badass action. So yeah, maybe not all women will enjoy it, but I bet some women will. I'm just saying this movie is kind of geared towards men. But yeah, with that, I'm definitely going to approve this movie with a 4 because, like I said, it's a movie every guy should see at least once. And it's a movie that has a really good rewatchability factor because, yeah, I could probably watch this pretty soon. I forgot most of the stuff, it doesn't stick with me, but when I watch it again, I'm going to be like, whoa, look at this, so badass. Alright, enough of that, let's go on to the next movie. Okay, now for Sin City. Sin City is based off a bunch of Sin City comics with different stories. It's not just based off one singular story. It takes all these different stories, different characters, and kind of meshes into one movie and kind of connects everything, which is pretty cool. But what I like about this movie, there's actually 2 big things I really like. One of them is the distinctive style. Also, this movie, just like 300, used primarily green screen and blue screens to make up this movie. Just look at this. It's just noir, black and white, but also there's a cool contrast of colors because once in a while you'll see either reds, orange, blues. They'll just show up once in a while to kind of lead our eye to something that we need to notice. It's pretty cool. And also how this movie uses CGI to give it this really cool look. Just look at all this stuff. Look at this. It's so cool looking. Each story is really interesting and fun to watch, visually and the story. Also, the characters are really interesting in this movie as well. The main 3 characters, Bruce Willis, who, good job for the director and whoever wrote the script and the producers of this movie. They actually got Bruce Willis to care for this movie. If you don't know, Bruce Willis is a really good actor if he cares to be. Recently, when he's been kind of getting old, cranky, and really bald, he stopped caring for movies. He'll just show up to collect a paycheck. But in this movie, he really cares. Like, he looks and he acts just like his character from Die Hard, his most famous movie. Actually, if you just called his character in this movie John McClane, the one from Die Hard, this movie would be a much better finishing movie to the Die Hard franchise than the last 2 movies. Mickey Rourke's character, the brutish bug Marv, he's a really interesting character. Even though he isn't the smartest, he has a lot of conflicts going on. You can see the actor is just having a blast playing this part. Like, it's just so fun to watch him go. And he does a good job at it also, even though he is having fun with this. You can see it. The last guy, even though he personally isn't the most interesting, all the other characters around him and the story that he's in just makes him more interesting. I don't really remember his character's name or anything, but I remember the cool stuff he did in his story. Also, other male characters are interesting as well, even ones with not so much screen time.
I knew there was a reason I got out of bed this morning. Hey! Hey!
Nobody. I don't see nobody.
Hey, will you look at that? It's right through me. Guys, look.
There's something wrapped around it. Some kind of note.
Give it to me.
Also, what is interesting is that Elijah Wood shows up in this. Elijah Wood, he's known for playing Frodo Baggins, one of the most least intimidating characters of all time. In this movie, he's one of the creepiest characters of all time. And just look at those goggles, look at those spectacles, look how they gleam, look how creepy he is. He doesn't even say anything. Yeah, Sin City is probably one of my top 25 movies of all time, just because it's a really fun movie to watch. I can watch it over and over again, because there's so much story, so much stuff that happens, that I just forget some small little things. It's not something that's just an A to Z kind of deal. It kind of goes all over the place. It's really fun to watch. The stories, the characters are interesting, but mostly, this movie looks so cool. But yeah, on my Austen approval meter, which ranges from Austen throws up in his mouth to Austen works this movie, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5, where Austen loved it. Thanks for watching my Frank Miller double special movie review of 300 and Sin City. If you like the review, please hit subscribe and check me out on Facebook and Twitter at Austen Approved, so you can be approved for more true as hell reviews. Hey, y'all!